Hello, welcome to a new unboxing. Today will be a new quadcopter, a kind of micro-size quadcopter. In fact, it's a little bit more smaller than the micro-size quadcopter. This is the Daming DM007 Spy. So look, the photo of this quadcopter is design. It seems to be a very nice with a great spying design. Yes, it's true. So the package is relatively small. Announced features are 6-axis stabilization, HD camera, okay, and it's working with 7.4 volts. So it's using a 2S Lipo. So we will see what we'll find in this box. So what you will find. Here is a quadcopter. Okay, it's true. It's very tiny, but a little bit more bigger than a real micro-size quadcopter. So look, the GXD 3 and the 392. Okay, so this one is a little bit more bigger. So you have a diagonal of something like 18 centimeters. So it's a kind of 180 millimeters. Okay, so definitively more bigger, but it's quite smaller than the 250 size. So it's pretty light. So also, so I will enter in details in a few seconds. So what also you will find? You will find the remote control. Okay, basic one. Okay, a tiny LCD display on it. Okay, trim button and two shoulder button. Okay, the throttle trim button is engaging the camera if you press down once, and you turn off the camera if you press again, or if you want to take a picture you have to push up the throttle trim. The left shoulder button is to select the speed mode. You have only two. Okay, so you are cycling between the beginner mode and advanced mode. And finally, the right shoulder button is activating flips. Okay, so you have to indicate in which direction you want to perform a flips. Nothing else special. You will need only 4 AA batteries. Okay, it's a basic remote control. What also you will find? You will find a bag with 4 spare props, 2 clockwise and 2 counterclockwise, and USB micro SD card reader. Okay, and also you will find 4 gigabyte micro SD card to install in your camera module. So this module is very similar to the, for example, Sama is 4C or GGRC X5, okay, H5, sorry. So you have to insert on the by side. 5 gigabyte is enough to take a picture, enough for film. So you have a HD camera module there. Okay. I will explain a little bit later the quality of this one. And what also you will find, Lipo Battery. Okay, it's true, it's ranked to be 7.4 volts. Okay, and announced to be 380 milliamps per hour. The weight of this one is close to 20 grams, ending with a micro LZ connector. Okay. One concern, there is no balance plug, so be aware when you will charge with the kind of charging adapters. So versus time, you can have a differential voltage between cells, so it's not very good at the end for the chemistry of the LiPo. So it would have been better to have also a balance plug, but it's the case like this. And finally, what you will find an instruction manual, okay, in both language. The first side is in English, well designed, the problem at all, and the second part is is in Chinese, I guess. Yes, so it's not really important. Yes, but you have a Chinese explanation also. But at least you have the list of the spare parts. It reminds me a little bit the documentation provided by Asaima. Okay, but it's maybe a coincidence. Okay, so I will return more in details on the quadcopter. Well, what I like immediately is the design, a very nice one. Okay, so you have to install the landing gears by pushing like this, and install no screw on them. Okay, so maybe it's a good option if you're crashing, they will be able to pop up without breaking anything. So you have to push the battery doors to open it, and you can access to this bay. Okay, so you will be able to install the LiPo. Well, one other concern is well, it's a little bit hard to insert the batteries. Okay, so you have to install first the connectors, and after to bind the cable, and in order to install it correctly. It would be fantastic if MIDI switch will be installed, but it's not the case. So each time you're losing some times to install it correctly before to turn on everything. So it's a minor points by points. Okay, so. The weight standalone of this quadcopter is approximately 60 grams without LiPo and the camera. Okay, so it's quite light, and the camera module itself is scales more than 8 to 9 grams, so it's pretty light. And you have to install it on the battery doors, okay, battery bay doors. One concern each time, all quadcopter, I don't know why, wants to focus or to aim the more on the ground. Okay, so it means that when you will fly forwards, the angle will be even more pronounced, so it means that you have no real chance to catch the horizontal line. So our basic mode will be to at least to install it horizontally. Okay, concerning the camera itself, the quality is good, but the field of view is quite narrow. The good news that the camera, the lens mount is M6 by 5 3 with a pitch of 0.3. It means that you can install, for example, the new lens nano wide lens, for example. The 808.16 lens D. Okay, it's compatible, so it's a good mode. Sorry, to increase your field of view. Well, the general plastic quality is good, more rigid than smooth. Okay, so it's okay. It will probably be enough durable to most of the crash. You have also installed a prop guard, so quite efficient because you have the central bar there. Unfortunately, you cannot remove them standalone. Okay, so you have to remove everything to if you want to. Also the motor cup if you want to remove also the prop guard, so it's a bad point for me, except to cut the prop guard, but it will be definitive. Well, one of the main features, as you can see, there is no gear system on this quadcopter. It means that it's a direct drive, and it's using a 2S LiPo, so if you have a bigger brushed motors on them. So they are not coreless, they are brushed ones, so not coreless one. So they are a kind of uncertain model, I don't know exactly. So when you turn it, you can feel the all the element of the stator and the rotors. Okay, you can see that, you can guess how many pole of your magnetic stator you have. So it means that they are strong motors, so you will have a lot of punch, vertical punch immediately. So immediately you know that you will be a very compact and powerful quadcopter. So the main question is the durability of such motor. Well, I will say that since this quadcopter is quite light, close to 30 grams less than, for example, the GGRC H8C. So, well, and they are not using also some coreless. This is real brushed. In my point of view, the motor are much more durable. So this is definitively a good point. Lighter quadcopter with more stronger 2S and compatible 2S motor. So these two aspects will let me think that it's much more durable, at least for the concerning the motors. While concerning the quadcopter, as you can see, I drilled a small hole in the top shell canopy in order to install vertically the antenna, because, well, the internal RF chips installed in both the remote and the flying controlling board is an XN297. So it's assumed to be an RF24L01 compatible chip, but it's not completely true. And in fact, according to the characteristic of this chip, the RX sensibility is a little bit more good than the real NRF or the CAN 2423. So, well, it means that the range, if it's working at the same data rate that, for example, protocol using a real NRF or beacon, will be a little bit lower. Okay, so this is why I strongly advise, for example, to install the antenna vertically. So you have just to drill a small hole in the top canopy, and in order to do that, it will increase the range in the horizontal plane. So if you want to increase the range in your horizontal plane, you can do such kind of modes. It's helping a lot. Unfortunately, concerning the protocol, I was not able to bind with any existing one. So it's probably a new one. And concerning the potential deviation techniques hacking, actually, non-protocol using this RF shifts is already done. Maybe one day is not actually the case. So, for instance, you will have to fly with this radio, but which is not bad. The chassis is okay. You can grab it easily. So it's a large model. So not problem at all. So I will start to install the battery, and you will see that the LEDs are very nice. This is also a very good point. You will see that you have a kind of flashing animation and LEDs like EDR. I don't know exactly this TV show in the 80s with the cars. Okay, so as I mentioned last time earlier, it's sometimes a little bit hard to install the battery, so you have to be vigilant. First install, and it's hard also to remove it. So, well, for this point, something must be done to, as you can see, is not the right stuff to do. Well, you have to first install on the top like this, and after to push back. Okay, and after you can gently install. As you can see, it's not trivial at all. Okay, so now it's done, and you have to, if you want to, you have to plug the camera module like this, because I unmounted to make my photo session. Okay, so now you have a red LEDs indicating that it is it's powered boot. Okay, so the back light here, okay, since the transmitter is turning on, is still flashing like this, and when you start to see something, you have the LEDs blinking like this more slowly. So you have to push up the throttle and down to arm the quadcopter. Okay, so now it's bound. You have this nice LEDs animation from red to blue, so at rear, and the front is staying blue solid. Okay, so it's perfect. As I said previously, to turn off the camera, you have to push down the throttle trim, and the LEDs will turn to red or blue. I can't remember well. To red. Okay, a red flashing one. So now it's filming. Okay, and you have to push again to stop recording, and it will return to green. Okay, so I will make a small demo in your flight. You will see that you have a grid punch, vertical punch. That's great, and it's a very stable quadcopter. You can hear the noise of the motors. Since it's using 2S and has bigger brushed motors, the sound is more loud compared to the coreless motors. So this is. Oh, I forgot to mention, to calibrate, you have to push both stick in lower left position, and it should flash fast like this, and it's calibrated. Okay, so this is a classic gyroscope calibration step. Okay, the yaw rate is just excellent. So it's a very stable and nice quadcopter. As you can see now on the front, when you take off, you have also the blue animation, blue LED animation. So for night flying, it's just great. Okay, now I enter an expert mode. The pitch and yaw rate are, sorry, it's a very sporty one. Okay, I will learn now to get it gently. Okay, because the battery starts to be a little bit empty because I already flew a bit with it. Well, definitively it's a very stable quadcopter. You will see another video. It's flying very well, banking very well. I like it a lot. Well, the design is great. Motor is powerful enough to carry this camera. Well, I don't think it will be able to carry a much more payload, much more heavier payload. So you have something like 10, 15 gram maximum, okay, in payloads. I like the LEDs and the for night flying is great. I like the sound also produced by this quadcopter. Definitively, it's a sporty model. It could be a great platform to install a mini FPV kit. Okay, so my only concern are about the initial range. Which is a little bit short, something like 70 meters or something like this. So if you do this kind of range mode, you can maybe expect to 100 meters. The other one is concerning the batteries insertion. Okay, it's a little bit hard. A small switch would have been better. And there is no balancing plug on the Lipo, so versus time the Lipo can be damaged. Another one is concerning more the position of the camera, which is not fantastic. You will feel more the ground than the horizontal line, so you have to install, for example, a wider lens, okay, and also to put horizontally the camera. Okay, so but to resume, I like it a lot. Yes, it could be a very intermediate quadcopter, very tiny in size, and we'll be able to bring a small FPV setup. I think it's kind of potential to be, and really the design is. A very good point of this model. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. Okay, you can type any question or comments below the description. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.